Background check for renters. In this video, we're going to go over public resources. We have to do background checks for just about any situation, and we're going to look at a couple of different things that can be done in terms of doing background checks on renters. So if you come down to sheriffsdepartment.net, you'll have access to a lot of times free resources, sometimes at very reasonable costs, resources at the state level that you're able to use to do background checks. I'm going to select the state of Michigan for this example. Most states will have a very similar structure, except for a few states that make it where it's a little bit more difficult, but overall it's very similar. So you have your essential things when it comes to background checks, like court records, recorder's office, criminal records, business lookup, incarceration records, sexual offender registry, and then at the county level you have a couple of databases that could be checked too. More recent arrests, mugshots, recorder's office, and also court information. I'm going to go scroll back up here, and we're going to take a look at a couple of these records. So probably the most sought after is going to be the criminal record, and in this example the state of Michigan has this program or this service iChat, and it does a statewide background check, and it looks like it pretty much allows anybody to use it. It's a public resource. It's a name-based criminal history check. A lot of times, most states will have something similar to this. Some will give you more options than just a name check, maybe a fingerprint type of a check. And the only downside is it is going to focus on that state in particular. So if you have somebody that has lived in multiple states, in multiple counties, has moved around, maybe travels a lot, it's a good idea to figure out where these other places are and maybe pull a background check from those other states. Another thing to look at is would be court records, and and a lot of states, they'll have something at the state level, maybe a single database that you can use, maybe a few databases where it's kind of centralized. Some states will actually have you search at the county level, even at the court level. So you might have three different, like for instance here you have 3 different counties and you have 3 different courts, or excuse me, one county and you have 3 different court databases in a single county. But if you know what you're looking for, you just come in, type your name, and you're searching court records, and court records include anything from traffic tickets to felonies. Anytime somebody shows up in front of a judge, that creates a court record. Court records are considered public information except for some situations, and specifically for renters, maybe they want to look at things. I'm going to a court specific page here that we have, which gives you a visual representation of the court system within a state. We did this for all the states. Look into it to kind of get more informed with the way the court system works in your state. And you have courts like municipal court, as an example, will do city level things like maybe parking tickets, and then it goes all the way up to maybe the circuit court, which deals with things like felonies, civil, family, juvenile records. And so you wanna as an example, maybe for renters, you want to look at evictions. So you figure out, like, okay, district court, they deal with evictions, and so that's a court of interest now to you. If you also want to look at felonies and you want to look at lower level crimes, you might want to look at circuit and district court records. And so you just go back to the either the statewide a court record database, or maybe you need to do it at the county level, and you go perform that search at the appropriate court for the appropriate record type. Some other things to consider would be the sexual offender registry, incarceration records, which would be prison records. A business or license lookup can also be done at the state level if maybe somebody has a business, or they're claiming they're licensed professional, and you need to verify that information. That can also be researched through the state. So we have multiple databases that the public has to utilize, the official databases, and at times free, at times at very reasonable prices. So I'm going to go ahead and drop a link to sheriffsdepartment.net in the description, or you just type it into your browser and come on down and see if we can help you with anything.